Diabetes is a modern health crisis. Since 1980, the number of diabetics worldwide has quadrupled. And the latest research indicates that 1 in 3 adults are pre-diabetic and that 90% of those people are undiagnosed. More than anything, this is a problem of information and confusion. An outdated food pyramid that causes disease, unhealthy foods filling supermarket shelves, and obscured information in the name of marketing. So today, we're going to reveal 9 natural secrets for a diabetes-free life. We'll cover a few fundamentals regarding diabetes. We'll discuss natural steps that don't focus on meditation or fad diets or extreme inconvenience. And we'll share tips for sustainable and long-term health. For an enjoyable, full life of energy and good food and joy, science-based practical goals to stay on track, as well as a simple nighttime routine that can make a big difference to long-term health. But before we get into it, can you do us a favor and like this video? Ring the bell for future notifications and make sure you subscribe to Diabetics Talk for more practical diabetes information. Plus, stick around to find out how you can get not 1, not 2, but 3 free gifts. Also, don't forget to check out exclusive Diabetics Talk merchandise from our store and sign up as a member to get full access to the Food, Health, and You Complete Implementation System documentary and more. Okay, let's kick off the list with number 9. Get sunshine. Sunshine makes a big difference in heart and blood health. In fact, according to cardiologist Dr. Jack Wolfson, sun may be the single most important strategy other than food. That's because when sunlight hits the skin, the body produces vitamin D, which is used for many vital functions. Vitamin D impacts inflammation at a cellular level. It impacts the health of blood platelets and blood clotting. Essentially, it determines the ability for blood vessels to function properly, which in turn impacts how well your organs can function. People who don't get enough vitamin D are at an increased risk for diabetes, cardiovascular disease, heart attack, and stroke. According to one study published in the Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism, people who had low vitamin D presented a 500% greater risk of sudden cardiac death. Another study looked at sunlight habits of women in Sweden and found that low exposure to sunlight was associated with significantly higher risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Researchers believe that sun exposure impacts susceptibility to diabetes by improving the melatonin system, which then impacts insulin modulation. Furthermore, sunlight can directly impact arteries and heart health by improving the endothelial lining within arteries, essentially increasing the buffer zone that protects against artery damage, helping to keep your blood circulating freely and reducing the risk of blood clots and coronary artery disease. For this reason, cardiovascular experts recommend regularly exposing the chest to sunlight. You want to avoid sunburn, but give your blood and arteries a regular opportunity to soak in the sun's goodness. Number 8, reduce visceral fat. Maintaining a healthy weight is extremely important in order to prevent diabetes. Particularly important is visceral fat, or the fat around your abdomen. Visceral fat in the abdomen is highly inflammatory. It surrounds the organs and can trigger inflammatory white blood cells, which in turn makes it harder to control blood sugar and leads to insulin resistance. From there, a whole domino effect begins, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes as well as other problems associated with inflammation in the arteries, brain, and other organs. Now, you don't need a 6-pack of abs, but it's important to maintain a healthy weight, and it's vitally important to be aware of that abdominal fat. And there are certain steps that will make it easier. We'll discuss these in the next few steps. Number 7, eat more magnesium. There are minerals that can lower blood sugar when you eat enough and can raise blood sugar if you're deficient. Magnesium is one significant mineral that fits this category. Many people are deficient in magnesium, and deficiency can increase your chances of developing diabetes. So it's a good idea to consciously plan your diet to include magnesium-rich foods. These foods include nuts and seeds, bananas, beans, leafy greens, and fatty fish. Pumpkin seeds and chia seeds are particularly good for magnesium, and they also deliver a range of broader health benefits. Number 6, reduce refined carbohydrates. The link between refined carbohydrates and diabetes is clear. Carbohydrates cause blood sugar to rise, and when blood sugar is too high for too much of the time, problems occur. We need carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are present in many healthy foods, but refined carbohydrates are a different story. When we flood our system with refined carbohydrates, visceral fat increases, hormones become unbalanced, and diabetes symptoms appear. That's why diabetes rates have skyrocketed since the 1980s, as the modern diet has become focused on processed and refined carbs. Now, the main culprits we're talking about here are refined grains and refined sugar. That's the white bread, pasta, white rice, candy, soda, and processed foods that contain hidden sugar. Other carbohydrate-heavy foods like potatoes are not ideal, especially if you're already diabetic, but it's the refined carbs that cause absolute chaos and tend to accelerate diabetes most, and that's why reducing them is key. When these foods are consumed, the body rapidly breaks them down into simple sugars, which then enter the bloodstream. This spikes blood sugar and can lead to insulin resistance over time, a major factor for type 2 diabetes. For people who are already at risk for diabetes due to genetics or other factors, refined carbs can be dangerous. Too many refined carbs can cause blood sugar to become erratic, putting strain on the pancreas to produce enough insulin to keep things in balance. But it's not enough just to avoid sugars and refined carbohydrates. If we want to truly stop diabetes in its tracks, we need to replace those unhealthy carbs with healthy alternatives. That brings us to number 5, eat whole foods. Eating whole foods is key to long-term health. Once it's too late, it's too late. As Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine." Whole foods are unrefined and contain essential vitamins, minerals, fiber, and other compounds that protect against disease. What we're talking about here is fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, beans and legumes, a moderate amount of wild-caught fish, and a moderate amount of organic, grass-fed meat. Whole foods are free from added sugars, refined carbs, and chemicals. They are foods in their natural form, complete with natural fiber. Fiber is one of the most important nutrients when it comes to diabetes. It maintains gut health and helps to regulate blood sugar levels. It also makes us feel full. Whole foods are full of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. These keep us healthy by neutralizing free radicals, molecules that damage cells and cause disease. Antioxidants and vitamins can be thought of as a shield, protecting the body from harm. Just as a shield keeps out invaders in times of warfare, antioxidants and vitamins help to ward off toxins. By eating essential nutrients, we build up our armor against sickness and disease. Healthy fats are also important. They reduce inflammation, provide energy, and keep cholesterol healthy. Our bodies have evolved with the natural fats found in whole foods, unlike artificial trans fats, refined sugar, and chemical additives, which essentially confuse the body and cause damage. As a general rule for optimal health, aim for 70% of your diet to come from vegetables, with the rest coming from fruit, nuts and seeds, dairy, eggs, and quality fish and meat if you choose. Finally, focus on eating the rainbow. The natural color is good. Colorful plants are packed with powerful compounds like anthocyanins and carotenoids, which have numerous health benefits. These are the beneficial compounds found in foods such as beetroot, berries, carrots, and kiwi fruit. These bright colors signal nutrient-dense foods, which nourish our blood cells and organs, and keep them functioning optimally so they can modulate blood sugar and protect against oxidative stress. So eat the rainbow and eat real food. While there are some specific superfoods that we cover in the videos in this channel, the broad rule is that eating a range of whole foods is always better than eating processed foods. Processed foods are loaded with sugar, unhealthy fats, and chemicals. They provide little nutritional value and increase your risk for disease. On the other hand, whole foods give the body what it needs to function properly, with nature's balance of carbohydrates, protein, vitamins, and minerals, fat, and fiber. Before we move on to number 4, how about those free gifts? Discover an entire world of diabetes-fighting foods with our new book, 10 Incredible Foods That Reduce Blood Sugar. Plus, you'll discover the real reason why type 2 diabetes, obesity, and heart disease are increasing at an alarming rate, and find out what really works when it comes to preventing these illnesses by watching our free diabetes fighting documentary. Plus, get a free recipe book, Amazing Alternatives to Rice, Pasta, and Bread, which contains over 50 delicious and easy-to-prepare recipes that the whole family will love. These gifts are free and waiting for you to grab them in the description box below. Now, back to our video. Number 4, stay hydrated. When we are properly hydrated, our bodies are better able to regulate blood sugar levels. Proper hydration improves circulation and prevents diabetic ketoacidosis, a dangerous complication of diabetes. Water should be your main drink of choice. Water dilutes the blood and aids the kidneys in filtering out toxins and excess glucose. Other options include unsweetened tea, coffee, or sparkling water. And for an especially healthful drink, go for lemon water. Research has shown that adding lemon juice to water reduces glucose spikes after meals, which is important for preventing diabetes and managing existing diabetes. A 2021 study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that accompanying meals with a glass of lemon water significantly reduced glucose spikes. The randomized controlled trial involved adults who ate the same standardized meal. One group ate the meal with plain drinking water, and the other group with lemon water. Results showed that those who consumed lemon juice had significantly lower peaked blood glucose levels compared to those who drank plain water. Furthermore, the polyphenols in lemons are believed to improve insulin sensitivity and lower the risk of diabetic neuropathy, a condition caused by chronic high blood glucose levels that damages the nerves in the legs and feet and can lead to amputation. In addition to these anti-diabetic benefits, lemon water is an excellent way to boost immunity and aid digestive health, aiding whole body health. Number 3, sleep well. The quality of your sleep has a significant impact on blood glucose and long-term health. One study published in the journal Diabetes Care showed that the quantity and quality of sleep have a significant impact on the risk of acquiring type 2 diabetes. When you don't get enough sleep, your body doesn't correctly absorb the sugar in your blood, which has a negative impact on insulin sensitivity. Sleep deprivation increases cortisol levels and decreases growth hormones, disrupting blood glucose regulation in turn. According to the U.S. Center for Disease Control, people who get under 7 hours of sleep on average show increased insulin resistance, increased blood pressure, and heart attack risk, and reduced immunity. So, how do you improve your sleep? Avoid eating large meals right before bedtime, avoid caffeine in the afternoon, and create an environment that promotes restful sleep by making your bedroom dark and peaceful and free of electronic devices. Create a wind-down ritual for an hour before going to bed, stretching or gentle yoga, writing in a journal for plans in the next day, or reading a book. Whatever works for you to make the end of the day more restful. Number 2, reduce stress. Stress has a very real impact on health and can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and other health problems. When you are stressed, your body produces hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones raise blood sugar levels. In fact, studies have shown that eating while stressed led to abnormal glucose responses. Stress is also a major contributor to high blood pressure. Furthermore, when you are stressed, you may be less likely to eat nutritious meals or maintain healthy routines. So don't overlook the impact of stress. Create a routine that helps you avoid, manage, or release stress. Number 1, keep moving. Exercise is vital to regulating blood sugar and insulin. Whether you have diabetes already or wish to avoid it in the future, exercise is key. When you exercise, your muscles use glucose for energy, and fundamental to this process are mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of cells. They break down sugar molecules and produce energy. Mitochondria are used when we stand up, when we walk, when we run, lift weights, or pick up heavy shopping bags. In people with type 2 diabetes, there are fewer mitochondria in their cells, and those that are present don't work as well. This can make it harder to control blood sugar levels. However, regular exercise can help increase the number and function of mitochondria in the muscle cells. This improved mitochondrial function can then lead to better blood sugar control. According to the American Diabetes Association, 30 to 45 minutes of aerobic exercise per day is recommended. Swimming, running, cycling, or walking are good choices, which entails full body movement at a moderate effort. More intense exercise is excellent for preventing diabetes in the long term, but can spike blood sugar in the short term, so caution is required if you already have health concerns. Even a simple walk around the block can have a significant impact, and the timing of your exercise can make a difference. In fact, researchers discovered that type 2 diabetics who went for a moderately paced 10-minute walk after eating had 12% lower blood glucose than when they walked at other times of the day. Whether it's walking, dancing, running, weights, or something else, it's vitally important to move your body regularly. Okay, there you have it. 9 natural secrets for a diabetes-free life. Get sunshine, reduce visceral fat, eat more magnesium, reduce refined carbohydrate, eat whole foods, stay hydrated, sleep well, reduce stress, and keep moving. And now we want to hear from you. What helps you stay on track? Share your tips and tricks with the Diabetics Talk community in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button. And don't forget, you can claim your free gifts by clicking the link in the description below. We want to keep making informative, research-based videos for you. So if you gained value from this video and would like more of it, you can send us a super thanks by clicking the thanks button at the bottom of the video. We're Diabetics Talk, and it's our mission to bring you the best tips and tricks to help you fight obesity and diabetes. Thanks for watching. We hope you're having a diabetes fighting day.